So, I am in a situation right now where I've got the suicide prevention line from the NHS on. Well, I've got the number for it on the page up. And the problem is I can't call because I'm like talking to strangers, so I figured I would talk to you guys as that was always what I did. This has always been like talking to no one and talking to anyone at the same time, which was and is a remarkably comforting and terrifying thought. That's always what used to give me comfort, and I say used to because it doesn't provide that anymore, and I think that's much through a thought of my own, in that I go internalizing that again. See, everything's my fault. That's what my brain tells me. And I say to myself in my mind that I'm not going to edit this video at all. Probably am. I don't think I have the security within myself to upload a video of this nature at this point, where I feel very open and easily hurt. I don't know if I'm going to be able to be as open and as honest as I'd like to be. Hopefully I will be. I'd like to think that shows bravery and strength. That'd be nice. So, albums. Autism, dystonia, life. I always visualised my problems particularly as a boiling kettle. It's never this one thing that you can put your hand on and just say, that's what's doing it. That's what's made me feel this way. It was never that. It was this and this and this, and all these different factors just overwhelms you until eventually the top just blows off and everything comes crumbling down. And that's happened so many times. It used to happen a lot in secondary school. Some of the worst times of my life. And yeah, there were days where I would come home and I would be in tears. I would be in floods and floods of tears. Just because, and it's that much more frustrating because you can't point a finger at something. I think that's so much easier. From experience, I can tell you that being diagnosed with autism after, I got diagnosed quite late. I think I was about 13 at the time, maybe, which is quite late for an autism diagnosis. And before that, having been the weird kid. The old guy who did weird things and was a bit strange. And after that diagnosis, nothing had changed about me. It was just the fact that I could point to something and say, that is why, that's the reason for this. And that gave comfort, honestly. But now, feeling like I do is horrendous because there's nothing. There's no line or reason to it. And it's simply just a feeling that just there's nothing. There's nothing I can enjoy. Nothing I can laugh at. I can't stream. I got bloody 4 awesome chickens a week and a half ago. Chickens are my favourite animal. I love me some chickens. I should be happy. I really should be happy, but I'm not. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much I list in my head the things that I should be grateful for. A loving and supportive family. To be honest, that's the top of the list. Everything other than that just feels inconsequential. I look at that, and I've had many examples shown to me in my life of fractured and broken homes in my extended family, and I know how troubling that can be. And I don't think it's a lack of gratitude at all that prompts these feelings on my part. Because does having a loving family, having things that you should be grateful for and happy about, make your suffering and your feelings any less legitimate? No, of course it doesn't. No. But you still want to point to that and say, that's why I should be happy. Because in the absence of anything sad to point at and say, that's troubling you, that's got you down, the next fallback is to say you should be happy because of this, this, and this. And in the end, you're not. And I hope this will help. And I hope I have the balls to post this. Because I think it will do a great deal to bring me back to somewhat of where I was. So much. I don't know how much of this has stemmed from my YouTube channel. I don't. I know it's a big part of it because the YouTube channel is a big investment of my life, both time consumption wise and emotionally. And I think my insecurities, such as they are, extensive as they are, lately on my channel, the reason the content, and I think the content's been good on my channel, the stream shenanigans, the GTA episodes, I love the content I've been creating. I do. And I can see the value in it objectively. But it's almost like I've lost the soul of it. The reason for creating has no longer become the joy of that alone. Which, I don't want to say that's what it was, because it wasn't. I was never 100% of it. 20% of it was, I'm going to be really big on YouTube. I'm going to have like 1 million subscribers blah blah blah. You know, that was a factor for me, and I had that ambition, and that still carries me forward to this day. But now I create not because of an obligation, but because everything has to be perfect. I'm so scared of disappointing anyone, because I've covered this so many times. My identity, who I am at a deep personal level, is is affected massively by the opinions of those around me. I don't know whether that's because of autism or just how my personality's evolved. I don't know, but other people's thoughts about me matter to me. Maybe they shouldn't, or maybe they shouldn't as much, but they do. And so that fear of disappointing people leads intrinsically to an impossibility, because you can't please everyone on the internet. It's absolutely impossible. And yearning to please everyone makes me, when I sit down to edit, or when I create, or when I stream, I see every imperfection. Every little thing where we could have done better, or I could have done better, or I could have said something clever, or made it funnier. That's what I see. It's like, some of you might relate to this as well. I've never suffered from this personally, but some people have a lot of problems with their appearance. They look in the mirror and they see all the imperfections in themselves. And I can look objectively at my face and say I need a shave, my moustache is insane, but that doesn't bother me. Whereas my videos, I invest so much in them, and it's become unhealthy. It's become seriously unhealthy. Whenever I sit down to edit now, I can't. I can't bring myself to edit and create, because I know whatever I make, no matter what I do, I will still find wrong in it. I will still find something to be disappointed in. And I don't know how to stop doing that. It's just utterly beyond me. Because I don't know the steps particularly that have led me down this road. I don't know how to walk back. I'll get back to the suicide topic in a little while, because I feel like that's an important one that I want to cover, even for the sake of other people. I know where I stand in regards to that, but I can force myself to create objectively. I've been editing recently, past two or 3 days. I've managed to edit 3 scenes, 3 clips for Stream Shenanigans. They're good clips, but it's a far cry from the days where I could sit down for 8-9 hours at a time and edit, just because I loved it. I loved what I was creating. And there was an instance that bothered me immensely when we were playing Gmod the other day. You know, we were messing around like we usually do. And I was trying to get everyone to come in to do a scene. And they all kept killing each other. And having a laugh and enjoying themselves. And I started to get really pissed off. And I didn't change outwardly at all. I didn't start yelling at them or anything like that, because that's just not who I am. But I've never felt that level of frustration before. And it was because, deep down, it was because of a lust to create content. And I hate the fact that that desire trumps what was supposed to be the heart of the channel, which was just playing games and having a laugh with your friends. And I hate the fact that my insecurities could get in the way of that, and could trump that, and could start getting in the way of my friendships, and that bothers me as well. Let's talk about suicide. Yeah, get a cheery conversation to get going again. I think it's cowardly. It's a controversial opinion, but right now, being the way I am and having the life experience that I had, such as it is, it's kind of an opinion that I have to have. Because certainly the only reason I haven't offed myself is because, example, just half an hour ago, 40 minutes, I was on my floor wrapped up in a towel, and I was playing my guitar. Right? I was very, very upset, but I wasn't crying. Yeah, maybe I'm beyond the point of tears at this point. But what made me cry, or really, I got this movement in my chest, kind of a cold, just a lurch, is when I thought about my mother coming in and seeing me hanging, and what that would do to her is just, like, that's not something I could ever bring myself to do. You know, whatever pain that I'm going through, whatever hardships, it's just not worth it. And I you know, some people might point to that and say, "Oh, that's a selfless thing," you know, caring for other people's emotions. But I don't think that deserves credit, because it simply stems from, as I said, other people's opinions of me matter to me. I committed suicide. What do people think? I wouldn't like that. I mean, it wouldn't matter all that much, because I'd be dead, but, yeah. I don't want people to run away with the idea that I'm some selfless man who lives for the sake of his dear old mother. Don't deserve that credit. Well, I deserve a bit of credit. I'm alright. There's an insincerity problem on my YouTube channel at the moment, and in the stuff that I create. I laugh because I want to be happy. And I used to laugh because it was funny. I mean, I am depressed. There's no doubt about it. I suffer from depression. There are spouts, highs and lows with me. For example, like some days I can go on stream and I can absolutely laugh it up. I can genuinely have a fantastic time because I just forget. And I'm just there and I'm swirling in giggles and I'm having a laugh and I connect with my friends. And that is the most precious thing about the day, is that. And then after that, I'll look back on I haven't played back one of my streams and genuinely watched it as if I were a viewer in such a long time. Because as soon as I do, I'm noticing the silence. I'm noticing what I could have done better. I'm noticing where I would have got bored. I'm noticing everything that is wrong with it. And it is so hard to create when you just can't see the value in what you are making. I hate that. I really hate that. It's going to be a tangenty video, but I feel like this is just off the top of my head expression. I need to get this out somehow. And as I said, this is what I would do back in the days when my channel was, I feel like, more sincere than it is now. It's never become less honest, but it's become less sincere, if that makes sense. I never hid the fact that I was struggling. There have been many streams where I would say, look, I'm having a really bad day today, I'll try my best to make it entertaining, but I don't know how it will go. And, you know, that's always the objective with me, is because streaming, as with a lot of art forms, is a performance. I'll get on stream and I'll extrovert myself a little bit. I'll talk a bit louder. I'll be a bit more excitable and happy and let's go! You know, and, you know, I can turn that on and off like a light switch. And I don't think that is dishonest at all. I think it's insincere. Certainly in the way that I've been doing it. I hope that people can relate to this. Because I'm well aware that I'm not alone in feeling the way that I do. I'm well aware that lots of people struggle with the same kind of thing. Maybe not in the same way in relation to YouTube or whatever, but my depression in particular, everything that I used to enjoy, be it editing, be it chickens, be it eating, be it a TV show, no longer yields any joy for me. It's not like it makes me sad, but I just feel nothing. And that absence of love, or the absence of enjoyment of a thing that you know you like. You know that any other day, if your hormones were just in a different balance any other day, you could look at that and you could laugh. You could enjoy it. That is horrible. It really is horrible. I do want to cover suicide in more detail because it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. right now. It's a little morbid. As I said, cowardly for me, because it's the easy way out. I personally, I don't believe in. I used to be a Christian, or a close approximation. Not so anymore. I don't believe in an afterlife. I don't believe in. Well, I don't believe that I'll end up in hell. Frankly, my entire family is Christian, and that's another way in which I'm blessed. I'm in a family of religious people who respect my decision to not take up the faith. And, you know, my family have my respect, if nothing else. Because I'm so blessed to be where I am. I really am. But yeah, I've always felt like suicide was... I've always said this. I believe it less than I used to. I used to say it was a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And, you know, that's a nice sentiment. But I suffered from depression for years and years and years. And years of depression, how a week of depression can feel like forever, because you don't know when it's going to end. It could well go on for years. You could be feeling like that until the day you drop dead. Because when you're suffering, you just don't know. And you can't see a way out. And I think that me sitting here, even while I'm suffering from it, and calling suicide cowardly and saying that it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem is a shallow way of looking at it. And honestly, thinking back now, I'm probably wrong to say it and sit in a position and say that just because I've suffered one element of depression, or my particular interpretation of it, that I have a grasp of other people's emotions, because I don't. I'm not even close. But for me, personally, the reason I'm alive today is that I try to be as strong as I can, and I try every time I get knocked down to keep pushing forward in spite of it all. And the thing about that is that there's no glory in it. There's no happiness, there's no screaming crowd. And, you know, we're shown these symbols of heroism in films and media. You see Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman, whatever. Wonder Woman charging over no man's land. Great scene. I absolutely loved it. It's heroic, isn't it? It's not human heroic. It's not getting out of bed when it's the last thing you want to do. Or getting up and persevering and going to work and trying every day for no reward. Because it's not what you want to do. And I think we're shown these articles of fantastic things and terrible things in media, news and all that, so much that we're acclimatized to the poles. Terrible things happen, school shootings, and then wonderful things happen. Can't think of an example off the top of my head. But we hear about the polls, but we don't recognise, and we don't appreciate the courage and bravery that it takes for some people to get through the day. And if you are out there and you're suffering from depression, you have my respect and my support, because I know how hard it is. I might not know your exact situation. I'm telling you, it's worth pursuing. It's worth keeping going. Because there have been many a times with what I've been doing so far that, having walked in my shoes to the edge of the cliff of suicide, or the cliff of depression where I wanted to end it all, and there have been days like today where I've been sitting on that edge, just waving my feet over and looking off into the distance. But the interesting thing is, if you can follow that analogy, is that having walked my particular path up the rocky cliff to the edge, I'm in the best position possible, sat at the edge there, to meet and speak with others who are in the same place. And I feel overjoyed, honestly. And I'm just realising now that's actually a great joy that I still have, and it's making me cry because I'm actually happy. I'm happy that, in spite of how I feel and how sad I've been able to talk to other people about it and help make them feel better and just alleviate some of it and just give some perspective. That's a blessing. And you gotta remember that whether or not you emerge stronger at the end of a round of depression or whatever it is you're suffering from, your strength and your endurance in those times will shape more of who you are than some of your happiest moments will. And I know that personally. I've been made a lot stronger through what I suffered. I can remember a night where I sat up for 24 hours coughing up blood into about 7 cardboard hats that the hospital provided after my bone graft operation. And me and my mum were sat in a bed, or lying in the bed, for 24 hours. Some of the hardest times of my life. And we're still here, still chugging. So yeah, if you are suffering, keep going. Just keep going. You owe it to yourself. One thing that I've always struggled with, and I will to the day I die, is I'm autistic. I don't like to do certain things. I don't like to go out. Don't like to drink. Even go to the one stop causes a lot of stress for me. And yet, I keep setting that up as an objective to make me better, to make me more acclimatized, to make me stronger. And at the same time, it's like, well, is that really what I should be focusing my energy on? trying to make me someone who I'm not gonna be. My brain's going. I think if I talk anymore, it's just gonna become complete arrant nonsense. So I'm gonna call it there. Don't know if I'll upload this video. I have no idea. I feel like if I don't do it instantly, as of the moment I click stop recording, I won't do it at all. We shall see. Feel free to leave your thoughts, your comments, your experiences on this video, because I'd love to hear about them. And if you are suffering, talk to me, because I've always got time, apart from when I don't, in which case that's quite unfortunate and I apologise. But I'll do my best. I'm only human. Okay, bye. Dear God, that was a clusterfuck.